Hello, white people. Guess what? Here is the October surprise. President Trump, First Lady Melania test positive for the mindfuck. President Donald Trump said he and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for the mindfuck, plunging the United States into further upheaval and uncertainty just over a month away from Election Day. The White House physician said the president and First Lady were both well at the moment. In a tweet early Friday morning, Trump said, "We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together." Tonight, Flotus and I tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together, okay? Shortly after Trump's tweet, U.S. stock futures moved sharply lower, with Dow futures falling more than 500 points. Trump is now the most prominent figure to come down with the mindfuck. Previously, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Brazilian President Jair, I think that's how you say his name, Jair Bolsonaro, had tested positive for the mindfuck and survived. Trump's track record. Trump has come under withering criticism for his handling of the mindfuck pandemic in the United States, where more than 7.2 million have been infected and 207,000 people have died. Do you notice that? 7.2, that's 72, and then 207,000 in gematria. You just get rid of the zeros, and you can flip the numbers back and forth. So 72 and 27, anyway, do you see that? According to a tally from Johns Hopkins University, the president has admitted on tape to knowingly downplaying the severity of the mindfuck virus and has pushed an overly optimistic outlook on the virus as it spread across the country. He has aggressively pushed for schools, businesses, and sports leagues to reopen after the pandemic hammered the economy, which had been humming along and had given him his strongest argument for re-election. He has also routinely held campaign events where supporters were densely packed together, with many not wearing masks. In February, he said, "I think the virus is going to be fine, and looks like by April, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away." Later that month, he said, "The mindfuck virus is very much under control in the USA. Stock market starting to look very good to me." Also in February, he said, "The 15 cases in the U.S. within a couple of days is going to be down close to zero." During Tuesday's debate, Trump said the U.S. is weeks away from a mindfuck vaccine. What's next? White House physician Sean Conley said in a memo early Friday morning, "The president and first lady are both well at this time, and they plan to remain at home within the White House during their convalescence." Melania Trump. As too many Americans have done this year, POTUS and I are quarantining at home after testing positive for the mindfuck. We are feeling good, and I have postponed all upcoming engagements. Please be sure you are staying safe, and we will all get through this together. He also said he expects Trump to continue carrying out his duties without disruption while recovering. The announcement came hours after the president said he would begin a quarantine process after top aide Hope Hicks tested positive for the mindfuck. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's guidelines say people should stay home and quarantine if they might have been exposed to the virus. The agency said people should quarantine for 14 days. Trump currently is scheduled to appear at his second presidential debate with Democratic nominee Joe Biden on October 15th, or 13 days after he revealed his diagnosis. The Commission on Presidential Debates didn't immediately respond to a request for comment on how Trump's diagnosis affects the upcoming debates. Trump and Biden are also set to square off October 22nd. Hicks is known to spend a lot of time with Trump. The president, the first lady, and Hicks have traveled Tuesday to Cleveland for the debate on Air Force One with a group that included the president's closest relatives and advisors. They include White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, the president's lawyer, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, the president's daughter, Ivanka Trump, and her husband, Jared Kushner, both of whom are senior White House advisors. The president's son, Donald Jr., and Donald Jr.'s girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle, a hideous creature, who previously had COVID, Eric's wife, Laura Trump, the president's daughter, Tiffany, campaign manager, oh my God, there's so many people, Bill Stipin, top campaign official, Jason Miller, White House social media director. This is like a royal court. Dan Scavino, White House counselor, Derek Lyons, political advisor, Stephen Miller, and Representative Jim Jordan, Republican, Ohio. Also on that flight was Alice Marie Johnson, a criminal justice reform advocate whom Trump granted clemency for her life sentence for a drug crime. Really? Why would that lady be on that flight? That's weird. Masks and risks. Trump, 74, himself rarely wears a mask after months of resistance and has mocked Biden, 77, for often wearing face coverings. I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away and he shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. Trump said about Biden during their debate Tuesday night. At his age and weight, which is in the range of obesity, Trump is considered to be at high risk of severe illness. From the mindfuck, according to the CDC's website, Melania Trump is 50. There have been cases of people who have developed symptoms of the mindfuck and have recovered, only to be left with lingering health problems, including respiratory ailments. The Biden campaign didn't immediately respond to a request for comment about the president's diagnosis. According to NBC News, Hicks had started showing symptoms Wednesday night when she had accompanied the president and several others to a campaign event in Minnesota. She quarantined on Air Force One on the way back and received positive test results Thursday morning. Trump briefly visited New Jersey for a fundraising event on Thursday. As of Thursday night, Trump had been slated to travel to Florida for a campaign rally Friday night. The White House issued an updated schedule that cleared travel from the president's schedule. Vice President Mike Pence, who is due to take on Senator Kamala Harris in a vice presidential debate Wednesday, tweeted that he and Second Lady Karen Pence were praying for the president and the First Lady. Karen and I send our love and prayers to our dear friends, President @ Donald Trump and FLOTUS Melania Trump. We join millions across America praying for their full and swift recovery. God bless you, President Trump, and our wonderful First Lady, Melania. Gosh dang it, that debate was a shit show, and this is out shit showing the shit show. All right, white people, that's the damage for today. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to your comments below.